Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We got some new content ahead of us. I'm always making videos on a customer's car or even my M3, but we're gonna pause on that for a little bit because I'm working on something new. New platform seems to be very popular. I already cooked something up. Okay, so you might say Hyundai Elantra, really? Well, your boy went and bought one.
Yeah, boy.
Because I liked it that much and I seen the potential in the platform and I seen the potential to make money on the platform.
You can do it!
So next to me is the official CMbuildz R&D Elantra. So here she is, completely stock. We will see what we're gonna do with it. This car is equipped with a 2-liter turbo front wheel drive, but I opt for DCT. The reason I opt for the DCT is because we know DCT is faster than stick shift and it seems to be the most popular with this platform. I'm really gonna push the limits of this, see how far it goes, and eventually do a built motor, kind of go crazy with it, you know what I mean? It's a very affordable car, a sub-compact car for under 40 grand. What this car includes, it's pretty crazy. So this being the first video of the series, today we are gonna knock out the JB4 Pro, the intercooler. I'm probably gonna build an intake for it. I have an intake idea in mind. The other material hasn't came yet, so I'm just gonna build a standard intake for now just to get some sound out of it. So for the intercooler I just went with the Megan Racing. I went ahead and I took the name off because I like the clean no name look. It came with charge pipe couplers right there, and then of course the JB4 Pro. So the goals with this is we're gonna do JB4 Pro install. We're gonna run the car with that for a little bit. I got to hook up through Weld Speed, sending me an intake manifold. Obviously I paid, you know, I got a discount, but I paid for it. Then we are going to be doing port injection. So to my understanding, nobody really does it. So might as well build a kit for the car because these cars you can't run full E with the standard DI system. So port injection's gonna go on here. And then from there, it's just gonna be a list of parts. And this is gonna be a whole series and you guys will follow along with it. First things first, before I get started, Burger Motorsports has greatly offered me some wheel spacers and I'm gonna go ahead and test fit which ones I want. I don't know if I wanna do 15mm all the way around or if I want to do 20mm in the back and 15 in the front. So what I'm going to start with is 15 on front and rear, and let's see how that looks. So I got the wheels off. The first thing you want to check, which I'm assuming they all have it, but you never know. With spacers, you want to make sure that you have a spot, part of the lug nut to go in, the other part of the stud, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Because you can't mount it flat with the spacer and the stud sticking out. So this wheel is a 19/8, offset is plus 55. So if we put a 15 in the front and the rear, takes our offset to a 40. So let me go ahead and get the spacers installed and let's see what they look like. Go ahead and get your spacer, lather it on the back and obviously in the bore.
Daddy, chill.
Now just torque your wheels down. I'm using the old pry-bar method. If you've never torqued a wheel spacer, simply get a pry bar, wedge it in between both studs, and just make sure it's flat, and you're totally fine. If you've never done it like that, probably don't work on cars very often.
I'm done.
All right, now it's time to see what they look like. I don't know, guys, I'm kind of torn. The 15 looks really good, but I'm almost thinking 20 in the back would be perfect. I don't know what to do. Let me just show you. So this is 15 mil. It's still kind of in there. That 5mm might just do what we need. Because if you look in the front does have a little bit of poke past the fender. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right there, is that little bit of poke. All right, I guess the only option is to put the 20 on and let's see what it looks like. But I think that may be the perfect combination on this car with the stock wheels. I don't plan on getting wheels for this car right away because the factory wheels are really nice and they're light. Maybe later on down the line when I put my turbo kit on and stuff, there'll be some other wheels, but for now, I'm running these. The 20 in the back off camera, 20's in the back, and let's see what it looks like. 20 in the rear is the best option. It's pretty much flush with the fender, so once I lower this thing, it's gonna look great. So this is with the 20 mil in the front. front or the rear, look at that, that's like perfect. So now you guys have more options for wheel spacers, super high quality spacers from Burger Tuning. I'll eventually put these on my site so you guys can purchase from there or burgertuning.com.
A few moments later.
The wheel spacers are done. It's time to move on to the next modification, and we're gonna bang out the intercooler.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put you guys on a time lapse. There's plenty of videos on how to remove a bumper. Let's get started. All right, so as you can see, the bumper's off. Honestly, one of the easiest bumpers to remove I've ever done, so don't be intimidated by it. It's very, very simple. So let me start tearing off the old intercooler, charge pipes, and we'll go from there. Show you a few things you need to remove. So we got these 210s here, this clip, you gotta pop this little clip off. 210s over here as well. We gotta remove this shroud, it no longer is in use, and then we'll go from there. So on the charge pipes, the OEM ones, you see those clamps? You just gotta remove the head of this. Just shake back and forth. Ooh, yeah. Then that'll give you access to the flathead. Same difference on the opposite side as well. See, the old intercooler's off. This is pretty cool. So the fan actually cools the intercooler as well. It's sucking air through the intercooler, which is a pretty cool design, to be honest, and there's nothing blocking it. Really impressed with that Hyundai. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the old rubber charge pipes, get the new one test fitted. Sorry for the messy table. So we have our OEM rubber coupler and then we have our new one. They do provide T-bolt clamps. I mean, this car, honestly, you're not gonna see over 30 PSI just yet. I recommend just using the OEM clamps. They're a lot better than the T-bolt clamps they provide. I'm gonna go ahead and take these off and I'm gonna use the OEM ones and then torque them down. Quick tip, go ahead and get all your clamps orientated so that it's easy to tie in. As you can see, I got the OEM clamps positioned exactly where I want. There and that one. Time to mount the new intercooler.
A few moments later.
The install is officially done. You do have to trim this bracket. I just took a little cut off of it to utilize this. But you see what I'm saying about using the OEM ones? They honestly have a lot more room than those T-bolt clamps. I wouldn't use those, I would just use OEM. So everything's all tightened up. Same on this side. And if you guys are wondering how to remove the OEM ones, put a little slit how it's held. That way you could just take the clamps off. And these are still reusable, not a big deal. So we did our wheel spacers, our intercooler's on. Now it's time to tackle the JB4 Pro. But first, I'm gonna put all this back together. We'll go from there. All right guys, JB4 Pro is installed. I didn't do a walkthrough on how to install it yet. Things will change. This is pretty much the first car with the JB4 Pro. Everything's wired up, flex fuel, and a couple other things that aren't hooked up obviously yet. But when I get the intake manifold and the port injection and all the flex fuel stuff, I'll do a walkthrough on how to install all of that. Oh, and by the way, I was waiting for UPS to drop off my turbo inlet adapter from Whoosh. They never came. So I just did a little makeshift intake for now so we can get some noises, and that's pretty much it. So there we go. Right now, JB4 is right here. It was like it was meant to be because it fits perfect. Obviously ran all the lines, got the little intake adapter meat on there. You know, we'll get some noise out of that. All we can really do right now is just go for a drive, do some logs, and get some sound clips. So let's do that. All right, everything is working as it should. Don't mind the negative. I don't have, for some reason, trans temp hasn't been configured. Give it a few revs. Put it in N mode. There we go. Dude, with the spacers, it looks so good. You guys, what a difference. Just that poke looks so good. 15 mil, 20 mil in the back. We're on a little cruise right now. Car feels great. I already put E30 in this car, so I just went straight to map 3 on the JB4 Pro. And honestly, the logs look great. So I really can't wait to do the power injection, because I want to see what I can do on the stock turbo. I know the stock turbo doesn't really make a lot, but it'll still be fun. But that with the intercooler, I mean, feels pretty good, to be honest. The intake that I made, that little filter thing, I mean, it honestly does not make that much noise. You can hear a little bit, but it needs a hard pipe for sure. So I got something brewing for that. That's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna chop this up in series, like the build process of the car. As we keep modifying the car. Like I said, I have the wall speed manifold coming. We're building a power injection kit for it. Once we actually flash the ECU, that's gonna be another video. Hope you guys like this one. If you guys like that Elantra content, let me know. I mean, I have a lot of ideas for this platform. I'm really excited about it. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and let them know that CMbuildz has an Elantra N now.